Well, our final speaker tells us about unheard voices in our own backyard. He also tells us about voices that should be unheard. These voices that condemn every undocumented immigrant in our country as a burden or a threat. Those who paint every Mexican who arrives in our state without proper documentation as a criminal. Those who refuse to open their minds to the facts. Santa Barbara is a classic example of a wealthy, prosperous community that could not exist without the help of those who work in the service and labor industries. Our city would fold in a month if it weren't for the quiet, often unseen and unappreciated men and women who work to keep our businesses and our homes clean, harvest our food, maintain our gardens, transport the materials we demand and whose availability we take totally for granted. It seems to me that we should be especially receptive to what our final contestant has to tell us. He speaks from the heart and as a member of the community who knows firsthand what it means to be on the periphery of the social system. He knows firsthand the difficulties and challenges faced by those who live in our community, contribute to our city's tax base and Social Security, but draw few benefits from those. He has seen with his own eyes the obstacles Mexican immigrants face when trying to improve their lives. Now, whether you sympathize or not with our speaker's position, your standing as a compassionate, caring American citizen compels you to listen with an open mind. Speaker number 5 speaks with a passion and conviction, and he, along with the rest of our speakers tonight, exemplify what we want our students to be: informed, committed, and passionate. Ladies and gentlemen, I can't think of a better way to end tonight's showcase than to hear the final presenters make his case. Please join me in welcoming Alberto Ortiz.
It's not obvious, yet we all know what this sign is warning us about. It's an issue that we can't simply turn off the TV and not see. We can't simply turn down the volume and not hear it. Can't simply change the page or look the other way and pretend it's not there. No. The issue of illegal immigration is one that as Americans we deal with and encounter in everyday society. And for these people, speaking out about their struggle is as much a luxury as it is a risk. That's why when they took to the streets this May 1st, I believe we should listen. I know most of us have our own thoughts and opinions about them. Are they good people? Are they bad people? And yes, like in every society, there are those few who deviate from the norm. There are some who are bad. But according to Public Policy Institute of California, of the estimated 10 million illegal immigrants, over 85% of them come to the United States to work and improve the living conditions of their family. I've had the opportunity of meeting many of them. My father, he's a truck driver, and we've traveled across the United States. Been with him to California, obviously that's why I'm here. Been to Texas, Colorado, Nevada, New Mexico, Arizona, Washington, Oregon. And in all of these places, I seem to see the same exact person. The hard-working illegal immigrant living in the shadows of our society. People without a voice that even though still manage to take advantage and appreciate every opportunity they get. There's one man in particular I want to talk to you guys about. His name is Jaime, forklift driver I met in Oregon. About 5'7", dark complexion, seemed to be over 50 years old. He had heavy bags under his eyes, spent many sleepless nights, wrinkles and scars. His hands were rough. This man had done a lot of hard work all of his life. And I had questions. Like many Americans, I'd wondered, what would motivate someone to leave their home country for the unknown? Make the choice to come to a place where, frankly, most people do not welcome them. Just like today, I stood here, Jaime stood right here. Muchacho, it's hard to explain to you, you're an American. But you know what? In Mexico, there was nothing there for me. I worked hard, and I never got anywhere. I knew I could never improve the living conditions of my family. So when the opportunity came to come to the United States, I took it. Because no matter what anybody says, The well-being of my family rests on my shoulders. The beginning, all I had was my wife, the clothes on my back, hope in one pocket, and a dream in the other. And just like many others before me, I started out as a daily laborer. Just one day I remember in particular, it's about 6 in the morning. It was freezing cold. I could barely feel my hands. And off in the distance, I saw a light. It was an office where the office workers worked. They had their heater on, leaning back in their chairs, laughing, a hot cup of coffee in their hands. But I didn't feel bad, no. Because I knew that in America, I had the chance to one day be where they were. That's how I knew why Jaime had come. The man wanted a better future for his family. But still, I had another question. Was it worth it? Was everything he'd been through worth it? I knew this question got to him. He looked down at the floor. His eyes glazed over. He was no longer there with me. He was drifting back in time, going through all the memories and experiences he'd had in the past. Was it worth it? You know how hard it is to be in a place where you know you're not welcome? To work just as hard as everybody else and not be appreciated? Do you know what it's like to live in fear? To know that one day I could go to work and not come back? Be deported and not see my family again? I have to live with that. And just like everybody else, I pay taxes, I pay Social Security, and there's going to come a time when I'm not going to be able to work. And what then? What's there for me? But you know what? I see the joy in my wife's eyes. I take a look at my daughter's face, and I know my sacrifices were worth it because I know their future is secure. My wife's been able to learn English, and I know when my daughter goes to school, she's not going to have to come home worried that her daddy wasn't able to make ends meet. And that's why I know it was worth it. That night, I couldn't sleep, and I woke up in the middle of it. Turned down the volume on my iPod, checked the missed calls on my new cell phone, turned off the plasma TV, and I felt disgusted. All of these years, all I ever cared about was me. I pointed the finger and judged, but not once did I stop and put myself in their situation. Not once did I stop and appreciate what being an American means. And just like Jaime told me that day, no, mijo, I don't want you to feel sorry for me. No. I made the decision to come here, and I take the consequences that come with it. But you know what I do want? I want respect. Because I'm not just an illegal immigrant. I'm also a son. I'm a husband. I'm a father. And I'm tired of being seen as a second-class citizen. Because just like you, I'm a human being. And just like you, I love America. Thank you.
Our voice, the spoken word, the power of communication to be a catalyst for change. I want to thank all the speakers today for your hard work. And I want to give them another round of applause for their work and for the professors that helped them. Thank you.